And is that permanently?
Now then, next up is a bloke from down south who's bravely travelled all the way up to the northeast. An Arsenal hero. He's the sort of bloke who loves everybody. His particular fond memories of playing at St James's Park, he tells us, because he used to score a lot here. Is that right? He's enjoyed a glittering career with the Gunners, where he won the Premier League, 2 FA Cups, a League Cup and a Cup Winners' Cup. He's Arsenal's second top scorer of all time. 33 times by England, scoring 9 goals. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Ian Wright.
Now he's on the telly talking bollocks. And everyone loves him, all of you lot love him. You know he's talking shit. Sorry,
but right, he's all right.
I'm in a good mood. Absolutely love it.
Just before we go on to some World Cup stuff, I mentioned to everybody here that you like playing at St James's Park, and I looked up, there's this video yesterday.
Yeah.
I looked up this video of you scoring here, a winner, November '96, after Alan had scored.
We went out.
Right, he makes it, wins 2-1.
We got out of 10 men as well.
You did.
I know. Hey, you're the business. I was trying to miss. Couldn't fucking miss.
We were down to 10 men as well. We had Ginola on the road.
It's true. We actually said, don't worry. We said to Dicko, just give him a thing, and then we,
Right. The format of tonight is that
can we have no swearing?
That was just it's like loads of tone.
Sounds terrible.
I think you can get away with it.
Come on, let's be decent.
Format tonight is we're going to talk pretty much a lot about international football and the lads' experiences playing for England and World Cups and stuff like that. A bit of club stuff towards the end, and then we'll open it up to the floor for some Q&As. First things first, where I want to start is tell us the difference between playing for your club or for your country. Start with the radio.
There's no comparison for me playing for your club to your country. Once you get to a position where you're actually able to represent your country, it's the honour, man. It's what you're playing for. It's like you're dreaming of getting there, but when you get there, you know, when you get that letter, that first letter saying that you're in this, I could not believe it, burst into tears, because that's what it means to you. It's the ultimate for a footballer, an English footballer. For me.
But I think for certainly a lot of us here who are Newcastle fans, probably seen Newcastle win the league, which I've never seen. Nobody in here could have seen Newcastle win the league. Haven't seen us win an FA Cup, even. But maybe some people too. Can you say about playing for England is more
important? For Arsenal, I play for Newcastle, so it's slightly different. No, I understand what he's saying. I mean, it's first and foremost, to be a footballer is incredible. To get paid for thousands and thousands of pounds to run around the football pitch, and we call it work, but it's not really, is it? So we're very, very lucky. But yeah, I mean, I always say that the biggest and best thing that ever happened to me in my career was being named England captain. I don't think it can get any bigger than that. And I always dreamt of playing for Newcastle, playing for England, but never ever did I think one day I'd captain the country, and to walk out of Wembley with the armband on and the anthem and everything else. And it doesn't get any bigger than that.
But right, you've said to me before, I think, that despite playing cup finals for Arsenal and all of that, I think your debut was against Cameroon or something on a Tuesday night at Wembley, and that was your proudest moment.
It was, yeah. It was freezing. It wasn't very good, particularly for the Africans on that night. I must say, it was cold for a lot. But it was one of those situations where I remember when I got into when they tell you that you're going to make the team in the afternoon, they name it in the afternoon, and everybody gives you a clap and that, and I got very emotional at that stage. At which point, when Gaza looked at me and went like this, because he saw that I was trying to hold it together, and he went like this to me. Which was really good because it kind of like literally cut it off, and I said, really, it kind of cut me off, and I realised, you know what I mean, just hold it together, man. But when I got to the ground later on, and you know what I mean, I saw my boots underneath the number 9, and it was Gascoigne, it was me, 9, Gascoigne 8, 9 Wright, 10 Lineker, I think it's 11 Waddle. And you know, I remember when I saw it, and I had to tell you, you weren't there. He was injured. It was the time, I think, which knee injury was it? He still scored more than 100. Should we just fucking get that out of 3 years off, still over 100 goals more than me. It does my head. It just looks like it made me sick. No, but on a serious note, when I went into the dressing room, and I saw my boots from Palace. I was at Palace at the time, under the number 9 shirt, and I saw the lions and everything. It was overwhelming, Sean. So I had to take the shirt. I took the shirt and I went to the toilet, and I literally I started crying. Tears just started to come down my eyes. I couldn't believe. You know, for like 4.5 years earlier, I was on a building site. You know what I mean? When I got there at 22. I played for England. I got into England when I was 26. It was all happening so fast, and it was overwhelming for me.
Remember what your England debut was like? Yeah, 1992, February, France at Wembley. I was still at Southampton at the time. Got the letter through to the Dell, and it was incredibly nerve-wracking to see, because you walk in, and I'd made my debut in '88, so you've not been around that long, and you're just reading about all these players like Lineker and all the guys. So you walk into the hotel, and all of a sudden you're there, and you're working with these guys and training with them, and it is incredibly nerve-wracking, because although you might be one of the big hitters at your football club, when you walk into the hotel into England, then there's stars all around, and you're all looking back. But it went incredibly well, and then that you get a sort of a feeling for it, that maybe you do belong at that level when you get in and score, and the result goes reasonably well.
I remember, for me, because I got in there and I was thinking, oh, brilliant, Gary Lineker's on the way out, Alan Shearer. just got rid of Lineker, Shearer came. And then when I was having a little pop, when it started to go a bit for me under Glenn Hoddle, Michael Owen came. So something said to me, just be happy to be in and around the bench and just fucking do something. You know what I mean? That's how it works out sometimes.
I think I probably know your answer to this, but for Newcastle fans here, would you rather win the league with Newcastle or the World Cup?
Jesus Christ, what a terrible
question.
Of course he's got to win the league with Newcastle.
Jesus Christ, what a stupid question. With Newcastle, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to win the league with Newcastle. So will you talk about the different pressures of playing for your country over your club? I mean,
We weren't prepared for those penalties in both 96 and 98, and I think the one thing that Gareth will be, if it goes to us, is he will be prepared, because he was one of the ones that wasn't. And that was what I said to the players. Look, whoever you are, if you're lucky enough to be named in the squad, when the forwards and midfielders are practicing penalties, please make sure the defenders do as well, because at some stage someone is going to probably have to take one. Never before 96 did if you had said to Gareth, you think you're going to need to score a penalty for England to get through, you would never have thought that. So you would have thought never practice them. And the only reason Paul Ince took a penalty in 1998 in the World Cup was because he had got that much criticism in 1996 for not, because he was the governor. He wanted to be called the governor, and he never put his hand up to take a penalty. So the only reason he took one in '98 was because of the hammering he got for not taking it in '96. And we weren't prepared again. He never really practiced penalties at all, and for David Batty to go up and take a penalty. I remember saying to David Batty on the halfway line, "What are you going to do?" He said, "Well, what do you think?" I said, "Well, if in doubt, I'll probably just put your head down and hit it as hard as you can." And as he left, he said, "That's what I'm going to do." And he put the ball down and he hit it to the keeper's right hand side. So he come back and said, what happened there? What happened? He said, and it's just, if you've never been in that situation, the walk from the halfway line to the penalty spot is the longest walk in the world. And it is very difficult, but having said that, if you can practice. You can practice and practice and practice again to pick your spot and hit it as hard as you can, which Bat said he was going to do, and he never did. He changed his mind, and that was key, and that's why we missed him, because we weren't prepared.
See, 96, I could have took that penalty.
We've been down at Gateshead Stadium today and doing some video shoots. These two were taking penalties, and they still absolutely got it. There must be something that you have that says, well, I'm going to score this penalty, because you've both got very, very good record with taking penalties. So what is it that we don't have when it comes to penalties as a sort of group of 5 players?
Well, I think it's very much like if you haven't won the tournament, the more you do it, the more you fail, the harder it becomes, and you build up a confidence and a mentality to believe it. I always had the belief that if I put my penalty to where I wanted the keeper, irrespective of where the keeper went, the keeper should never save it. And I always had a theory, especially playing with England, because you always train in the stadium the night before you play, whether someone's in the stadium or not, you would pretty much have a good bet that there's someone from the opposition team watching somewhere in the stands, that watching what you're doing in training. So I always used to stay behind and practice penalties afterwards, knowing and hoping that there'd be someone in the stadium watching me. But I'd put 5 or 10 penalties to the goalkeeper's left-hand side, knowing if I got a penalty tomorrow night, I was going to put it to the right-hand side, because he would go back and tell the goalkeeper, look, he's practiced penalties, and he's put all his penalties to that side. And that more often than not worked, I think.
What was your technique? Right.
Well, to be honest, after training, most days I would take at least 25 penalties, just to, and you don't even need a keeper. Just put that pole in there and just try to hit it into the pole. So if it hits the pole and goes in on the right of the pole, you'd think it's good. And Dave Seaman was so lazy about being a penalty goalkeeper. He would just stand at the side and I'd say, "God, is that a good one?" He'd say, "Probably reach that one." And so you hit another one, he said, "Yeah, that's a good one. It needs to go a little bit higher." So I practice at least 25, and I put my penalty was 3 steps, goalkeeper's right, halfway up the net is my perfect penalty. And then what I'd do is I'd score a penalty like that, then I would take, if I scored a couple like that, then I would take a couple to the goalkeeper's right, and then I'd go back to that side, because that is my favourite penalty. So if I had to take a penalty in a pressured situation, it would be the 3 steps, goalkeeper's right, halfway up the net, because I practiced them, and it was something that I didn't care who was in goal. I knew what I needed to do in respect of putting it where I wanted to. I put the ball down, I put the mitre side in the side where I wanted to hit the M on the mitre, so it would go bam in that side. And if the goalie saves it, he'd have done well, because I normally got that right.
Showing your age with a mic or something.
I know.